What I would like to see is not an emphasis totally on the income tax, but to try to do what every economist in the state has emphasized, and that would be to take a look at some of the service-to-service sales tax. That's the way you can get a diversity of tax structure in Minnesota, get away from this feast or famine kind of environment with the sole reliance or the primary reliance on the income tax, and be able then to get to a structurally balanced budget. So when you do have economic downturns, and we can't affect what's taking place nationally or internationally within the boundaries of the state of Minnesota, when we have those kinds of economic displacements, we have a tax structure that is better positioned to weather that. We don't have that now. And that's not the fault of Tim Pawlenty, it's not the fault of preceding governors. This is something that's been a reality in these last couple of years. This is something that we ought to take a look at and do it next year, get away from where we've been.
Thank you. Mr. Hernandez?
Read my lips. We may need to raise some taxes, just to be honest. We're facing major challenges right now. As stated, there's a $6 to $8 billion projected hole. I am actually keen on the idea of a sales tax on clothing. The argument has been made that that's a regressive tax. It's a tax on the poor. I couldn't disagree more. As somebody, like I said, is living paycheck to paycheck, I'm not shopping at Mall of America. I'm not going to Macy's. I'm not going to Bloomingdale's. Furthermore, it's not going to prevent somebody from buying a pair of blue jeans or a brand new dress, an 8% tax or whatever it is that it falls on. But I do want to make the point as well that we are living in a new globalized type economic structure. When Senator Cohen first took office, the geography was different. They were dealing with Minnesota, the Dakotas, Illinois, and Wisconsin. And now we're living in a world where we got companies from Singapore recruiting Minnesota companies to tell them to come over there. While going door knocking, there's been a couple people that have told me that they don't vote in Minnesota. They actually vote in Florida because they live in Florida for 6 days or 6 months in 1 day in order to avoid any sort of income tax. And so we have to look at these competing structures and systems, not only in our backyards, not only across the country, but in this new world economy that we're marching straight into. So, you know, this whole idea of tax the rich, I don't quite buy it. I find that people that are rich for a reason. They understand how money operates. They understand how to legally avoid taxes, and there's a multitude of ways to doing it, from opening a family trust in the Dakotas to having an offshore account in the Cayman Islands. And, you know, so let's just be realistic. How do we increase revenues to the state? We need to ignite a new era of entrepreneurial activity here in Minnesota. We've had a rich history of entrepreneurs, great businesses, Dairy Queen, Best Buy, Target, and marching forward, what we need to do is encourage people to start part-time to small businesses. There's just an article in the paper today that explains how inexpensive it is to start a business these days. You can do it right from your basement with the internet, with the new 21st century technologies. You can market on Twitter, on Facebook, all these types of things. And it's basically how I've been running this campaign too. I don't have a website. I've been doing it from Facebook. I've been doing it from Twitter. And I've been doing it the good old-fashioned way, just hard work, door knocking, and smiling, and you know, letting St. Paul know that I'm ready to represent this district. So,
thank you. Fourth question.